Hello, Miss Lewis.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing great.
Good. Hi, I'm Susannah Johnson Malbreaux, publisher of the Southern View magazine, and today I have the pleasure of interviewing Miss Tiffany Lewis. Miss Lewis is the CEO and founder of the J.S.Clark Leadership Academy in Opelousas, Louisiana. So today we're going to find out a little bit about Miss Tiffany, but we're going to find out about the J.S.Clark leadership. So Miss Tiffany, before we get into talking about, the academy, can you share with the viewing audience a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Again, my name is Tiffany Lewis. I'm originally from Houston, Texas. People don't know that.
Okay.
But I've been here in Opelousas for 14 years.
Okay. Long time. That's home now.
Yes, exactly. That's what I tell people now. Where you from? Opelousas. And I'm glad to be here in Opelousas. I have been in education for over 25 years. I've been just about everything you can think of in education.
Really?
Teacher, administrator, custodian.
Awesome. Well, sometimes it's good to be well-rounded.
It is. And so I've done a gamut of things, an array of things in education. And when I was a student in school, I struggled in school.
Did you?
A lot, yes. Wow. I was one of those kids who come from a single family parent home in a rough neighborhood in Houston, 3rd Ward, Texas.
Okay, all right. I'm familiar with 9th Ward. Is that 3rd Ward there?
Similar situation, projects, and so my mom decided that this is not the education she wanted for me. And she drove 20 miles from home to take me to a school where her friend moved into a new neighborhood.
A safer neighborhood?
Yeah, one with a better education. And so the principal there, every day my mom would be late picking me up because she worked 20 miles away. And so the principal said to me one day, I'm pretty sure you don't live over here. Yeah. And, with the whole, that happens today, with
it
the
does,
zoning.
it still does.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Minority, majority. And so he's like, I'm sure you don't live here. And I said, yes, I didn't know any better as a kid. And so he said, but we're not going to change your school because you can be successful and you're going to be successful right here at this school. And it was the first time that someone had really invoked success, in the school environment to me. And it made me want to be better. And from that day forth, the principal and I formed a relationship. I had a relationship with my teachers, and every one of them pushed me to be successful. And I wanted to start a place that kids could come and that could happen every single day.
Okay. So with that upbringing and the experience you had with that educator, is that something that inspired you to move into the education field?
No, not that experience. Well, when I got started in teaching, I graduated from college. I had no idea I would be in education. I didn't like kids, didn't want, you're in your 20s. I didn't want to be around kids.
You don't know.
And so my friend came to me one day and said, hey, they're letting people teach with a degree. They have this alternative certification program. And I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. And so then it came to me and said, well, I want to get an apartment. Well, I couldn't get an apartment over there and have money, right? So I said, well, looks like I'm going to be going to apply for that job. And I did. And the first day I walked into class, the gentleman whose class I was taking over, he said, don't worry, you're not going to have to do much because these Mexicans can't learn.
What?
And that was the moment that challenged me. I said, I walked in the classroom and I looked at these kids and I said, these kids are no different from anybody else because I know what was said about me.
You, exactly.
And from that point on, it was my mission to be in education. And like I said, I've been very successful. I'm an out-of-the-box teacher. I still teach now, even though I'm running the school. I teach English as well. So it's just been a passion that God put in me, and this is where we come, and this is all through Him.
All right. So then, how long did you teach at that particular school?
Well, I taught at that school for 6 years.
6 years.
And then I became a school counselor. I did that for another 4 years. Then I moved here to Opelousas, and I was a counselor at Carenboro High School. I was an administrator at Northside High School. And then I went to work for the Louisiana Department of Education as the supervisor of school counselors statewide. And I did that for 4 years. And then this developed. So so this now is bringing us to J.S.Clark. Yes.
So tell us a little bit.
Well, the charter school movement was really new. Even when I got into it, it was really new. But in Louisiana, I think because of Katrina, there was a great burst of it. But I had been working on the charter for years, just on and off. And so
I heard something about that. I remember
yes,
us running into each other. I heard the conversation, it's Tiffany Lewis, it's Tiffany Lewis.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, who's Tiffany Lewis? Yeah.
It started some years ago when I was working in Lafayette Parish. Again, taking back to, I felt like there needed to be a place where students who struggle could have that love and support and make mistakes and still get the support they needed. And so, those couple of years I worked on it. It wasn't something solid. And so when we found a solid plan, I went to the Board of Education. I went to Lafayette Parish first, and of course Lafayette denied me. And I went to Bessie, and Bessie denied me for the charter school in Lafayette. So after regrouping, my husband said, you have to do it again. And I said, no, I don't want to do it again. I had been beat down so bad.
That's Lafayette.
Yeah.
There were other options.
Absolutely. And so this next time when we went back, I applied for 2 schools, Lafayette and St. Landry.
Okay.
And so upon the approval process, they said, well, you don't have capacity for both of them. Of course, we were a small board, just getting started. So they said, well, which one would you like to have? And I lived here in St. Landry. So I said, well, I'm going to do St. Landry because this is my home where I live. And so we did, and we did a whole lot more research before we actually got to the naming of the school and where we relocated. And as we went through the community and talked to, some people who had been here for years, the one common name that kept coming up was J.S.Clark. Okay. And so we met with some of the alumni in Houston, some alumni here, and we said, well, what was so important about J.S.Clark? And everybody we talked to had this spirit about themselves when they would say J.S.Clark, they were like, we had a great time. It was a place where we were successful. And so it just invoked this feeling of powerfulness to me. And so that's how we got to the name J.S.Clark. And of course, we wanted to create leaders, so we added Leadership Academy onto it. Right. So it wasn't necessarily a namesake for the past school, but it was the spirit of the past school that encouraged us to go in this direction.
Now, where is Mr. Clark from?
I believe he's from Baton Rouge.
Okay.
And he actually was one of the first president of Southern University. Right. And what's so strange is now, we have 3 campuses for J.S.Clark. We have this campus, J.S.Clark, that's grades 5 through 8. And we call this campus our gateway because it's the entrance to your learning. And then our other campus is J.S.Clark at SLCC, which is South Louisiana Community College. We have an agreement with them where our students in grades 9 through 11, we don't have 12th grade yet, next year will be our first year, earn a high school diploma and a college degree at the same time.
Awesome.
And what's so odd about that is my husband made this connection. J.S.Clark and T.H. Harris came together and they created T.H. Harris Technical School.
Okay. And that's where the SLCC
That's right.
is.
It used to be called T.H. Harris.
Right.
They came together to form that because they felt like students, yes, they could get a college degree, but there were some students who also wanted a technical education. Okay. So my husband likes to say, even in death, they were still working together. Because now we have both of them joined back again.
Right. And thank goodness he made that connection. I like that interaction, with your spouse, bringing him into so he's out there supporting everything that you do as well.
He actually is the principal of the high school.
Is he?
Yes,
awesome.
He's the principal of the high school.
Okay. All right, because look, she's telling a little bit about herself, but she didn't mention her husband. So you're married? Do you have children?
I'm married. My husband is Victor Lewis. I have 2 girls. Okay. One is 10, 5th grade, and one is 14 in 10th grade.
Okay. By chance, are they attending?
My youngest is here at J.S.Clark. This is her first year. She's in 5th grade. And my oldest has been here since she was in 5th grade. Right. So now she's in high school.
Just running it all in the family.
All in the family.
That's good. I wanted to go back and ask, when you were going through the formation of, the charter school, did you have to put a board together?
Yes, our school is run by a board called Outreach Community Development Corporation. That consists of 7 members, and they're from various parts of the community. They have various backgrounds. We have business owners. We have those who work in non-proprietary areas. So it's a conglomeration of different people from across the board.
Bringing that expertise that you need.
In all areas,
right.
Correct.
Well, that's good.
People who've been involved in the community, they know what's going on in the community.
Okay. So 3 campuses. Between the 3 campuses, how many students do you have?
We have 370 students.
That's a good amount.
I didn't talk about the third school.
Oh
It's
my
our online school.
That's right.
We talked about the two. So the online school is also something available. And we started that because we had students that were applying here, let's say 6th grade, but they were in 6th grade, but 16 years old. But we obviously couldn't mix a 16-year-old with a 12-year-old. Right.
Yeah.
And so we wanted them to also have an opportunity to get caught back up, or for those students to get ahead. We had a student last year online who was supposed to be in the 9th grade. In 1 year, he caught up from 7th grade to get back in his grade in the 9th grade and passed every LEAP and MAP test that we offer.
So the students that are going through the online classes, are they basically being homeschooled?
They're at home.
They're at home.
And the curriculum that is being delivered to them is via computer. So they have a live teacher on the other end that is teaching them the core content, Common Core content.
All right. And that, no doubt, is approved through the school system?
Yes, it is. It is. The great thing about our online program is that the students get to participate in extracurricular activities. A lot of other online school programs, they're really isolated in terms of being able to communicate with other students or participating in other activities. And at our school, they're able to be in the band, play basketball, come to 21st century programs. So they have a lot of extra social things combined.
Which is a good thing. So it brings them to the campus. You get a chance to meet them. They interact with the other students as well. Okay, that's good. I think I was talking to your assistant. We were talking about the online classes and all. And she wasn't sure. Had you guys had any of the online students to graduate yet?
No, we haven't had any graduate. We have juniors in the program right now.
Okay, so
they'll be on track to graduate next year as well too.
Okay, do they have an opportunity to graduate with cap and gown?
Oh, absolutely. They
participate.
participate.
Service.
Yes.
I mean, would they graduate like if it was your class?
All of the classes online are aligned to exactly what we do here in the classroom. As a matter of fact, the only difference is our students that are online, if they're in recovery, we give them a pre-test to find out what they know and what they don't know. And what they do know, we take out, and they just have to focus on what they don't know. So our classes are all aligned. It's Common Core related. They've been successful on the state standardized test as well as our standardized test that we set in place.
Okay. So when did the first campus open?
This campus here opened in 2012.
Okay,
August
so
of 2012.
you've been operating for it. This is like the 4th year.
This is the 5th year.
Fifth year. Okay. So how has well, it's not graduation, for the most part, because you haven't graduated anyone yet. But how are their scores measuring with the scores, let's say, of the folks in the public schools?
In the area?
Yeah.
Well, the first year we opened, we were a D school,
Okay.
which most charter schools don't open as a D school. They usually come in at an F school, but it was disappointing to me because,
Why do they come in at an F level?
Well, you're taking students from, let's talk about type 2 charter schools, which we're a type 2 charter school. And a type 2 means we're independent charter. We have our own board. We're not affiliated with the local school board.
Okay.
So, and we're funded directly from Bessie.
Okay.
So that's what a type 2 is. And usually type 2s, we can take students from all over the state, not one particular area. So you have students that are coming from, Palmetto. We have students coming from Lafayette, Karen Crow, and St. Landry. And the majority of the St. Landrys in Opelousas City are F and D schools. So we're taking those students, and in 1 year, it's very difficult to make up for loss of learning that has happened. So, and I say that across the board because most charters, they're doing the same thing. They're pulling from low achieving schools.
Right.
So the first year is really hard to do.
It's hard to accept.
Right.
Hey, I just opened.
Right.
And already, I'm at a disadvantage.
Right.
But
Absolutely.
it creates that challenge, which no doubt you're up for that challenge.
Absolutely.
To say, okay, we may have started at a D, in some cases an F, but let's see where we can take this.
And that's exactly what we did. That's exactly what we did.
Let's
So
share that.
over the year, the second year, the first year our students came in, over the next year, and that's the beauty about charters, we were able to look at the needs of our students and adjust our curriculum. Look at the needs again, do more adjustments. So the second year, we became a C school. We grew 14 plus points.
Awesome.
And became a top game school.
That's fantastic.
And so that's where
that's a good track record.
Absolutely.
That's a good opportunity to share and increase your enrollment.
Yes, and the next year we grew 6 more points.
Awesome.
And so this year we're hoping that we've made the leap, we were at a low C last year. So we're hoping to make the leap to a higher C and then a B and an A. It takes time,
It's a process.
It's a process. But what it says to us is that every student is growing academically.
And you're moving in the right direction.
Absolutely.
And you're overcoming that hurdle that, a child can't learn.
Absolutely. And we never believe that here.
Wow.
Every student is a leader. Every student is an achiever here at J.S.Clark.
Right.
And that's the model that we have.
So once you've had, like the students, have you had any students that our parents have decided that this is not where I want my child to go?
It is. Yes, we've had that.
Which is not unrealistic.
No, it's not. Of course it's not. And what I typically find with students and parents who it's not a fit for is because, one, we're tight on discipline and we're tight on academics and responsibility. And the parents that usually leave us don't want the responsibility of accepting all 3 of those things. That we all have a role to play and you have to play your role too.
Right.
And so, it's not a fit for everybody.
Right.
And that's understandable. And the one thing that I always say is, I understand this is not a fit for you. But the thing about it is you have a choice.
You have a choice.
Before you didn't have a choice. We only had the choice of either having our kids in failing schools or if we could afford to go to a private school, we could go.
And you can send them to a private school.
Right. And that's only if you can afford it. And so I just didn't believe that parents should be left without a choice.
Right.
So if we're not the choice, that's fine. You still had one at the end of the day.
Right.
And it wasn't based on income.
Right. And the other thing, Tiffany, when you look at disciplining, I think, yes, it starts at home, but if the parents, the guardian, is not going to give that necessary discipline, then it challenges the school. But what that does is it helps to make the neighborhoods,
Absolutely.
the families a lot better, because many of these young folks will end up going to work here in Opelousas, Lafayette, where they're coming from, and that discipline starts early. That's really important.
Absolutely. And our culture here is one that you must be accountable.
Yes.
You're accountable for your actions.
Yes.
And so, we've had great success with that, and when I go to other meetings and I tell people about our students, we have the same students as everybody else in the parish. These students are coming to us, brilliant, achieving students. And so what we find is, one, what makes a huge difference is the uniform. We have a uniform and not a dress code. Every one of our students wears a tie, they wear a work shirt, a dress shirt. They have to look a certain way, and that look invokes a certain pride in them. So that's first.
Makes them feel good about themselves.
Right. So you've got this pride, now you've got a standard also for your behavior. And so now you've got to rise to that. And we've had students, I had many people come to me and say, hey, do you have this student over there? And I say, yeah. And they said, oh, she was horrible. And I said, I don't know that student you're talking about, And so I just feel like, one, the small atmosphere, the presence of how you look, and the standard that we hold them to changes that student into being. Because we're only what our environment allows us to be.
Exactly. What's the teacher-pupil ratio?
Some of our biggest classes are 22 in a class, and that's 8th grade. Our lower grades are 16 to 17 students per class. And so it's a small school. We're a one hallway school. If you walk down the hall, the kids always say this, you can see everything we're doing. Exactly.
Yes. And later, I'll let you take me on a tour, of the campus and maybe get to meet some of the students. So we were talking about the students, and they're no doubt, looking to do the best that they can. How are the parents? Are they participating like in the parent-teacher conferences?
Well, one thing I can say, our parents are definitely involved. When we have an event, they come. Whether it's teacher-parent conference or it is an award show, they show up. So we've had great, and I think that's the nature of, a school of choice, because parents are choosing to bring their children here,
Right.
so they know they're choosing to be involved.
Right.
And so we've had great success with that. When we call a parent about discipline, they are here with the belt. I would say you got to go home to do that, but they show up.
Right. Right. Well, that's kind of comforting to know.
It is. It is.
But they're taking, responsibility.
Absolutely.
So they want the best for their child. So that's good. Let's see. We talked about the enrollment. Is there any particular criteria for enrollment?
No, there's no criteria for enrollment. We're open enrollment. Our students, every year we have open enrollment between February and April.
Okay.
And so our students from other schools are allowed to apply online, and we have a lottery system. So once we meet the number of students per class, then we have a lottery to pull the rest of the students.
Right.
And that mostly happens in 7th and 8th grade, because we have limited slots. Our 7th graders usually move on to 8th grade. Our 8th graders move on to 9th grade.
Exactly.
So we have a waiting list right now of over 200 students.
That is a lot. Sounds
It
like
is.
an opportunity for additional growth.
You
Expansion.
just said it. You just hit a great topic, and we're planning to expand so that we can accommodate more students. But not too much, because the ultimate goal is just for us to have 750 students. We still want this to be a place where everybody knows your name.
Right.
If you ask a 5th grader about an 8th grader, they're going to know who they are. And that is a part of the family that we want to keep formed. So we're not looking to be a huge and take over St. Landry Parish School
Right.
system. We just want to have a special niche for that special child and family that wants to, access that.
Right.
So 750 is our max. We're building a school here to
Yeah,
accommodate.
I'll take some pictures of that in just a little bit. Do you have, okay, I see the plans here, which is very awesome. Do you have a time frame that you're looking to get that started?
We do. We're supposed to break ground in February or March of next year.
Okay.
And then from then it'll take a year and a half before the building is complete.
Okay.
And it'll be done in phases, so we're not
No doubt.
out of school
Right.
during those time periods.
And did the community come together, to have some input onto the
We have a
creation?
committee. We have lots of committees here, but we have a committee, the building committee, that is also working on some of the plans. Along with our staff. That was important that we had our staff involved, because they were able to talk about those learning spaces and how they wanted those spaces to look and what they were actually doing in their classrooms. So we had quite a large committee that is very active in what's happening.
Yeah.
And right now we're at the final plans. We've constructed our final plans, books this big.
I see plans all over the room.
Yeah. So we're ready a few months off before we
Okay.
actually break ground.
Where's the location?
It'll be right here.
Okay.
This building we purchased in two years ago, and we've been repairing here, making it a place where students can learn, but we need the expansion for sure.
Right. Okay, with that 750, and it's not too, I didn't have that. I did have a little bit of a hard time finding it, but that was me coming from Lafayette. Okay,
Yes,
I
and
got-
we're
I
in an
got lost.
isolated little spot here, but we love it, because when you come down our road, you're here to come to J.S.Clark.
Right.
It's not a road that has any homes on it, and so we like that it's in the country still.
Right. I did see a bus. Do you have transportation?
We offer transportation for
Awesome.
students.
Okay.
We don't do door to door, but
Right.
we do drop spots.
Right.
And our students have full transportation
Mhm.
every day.
Okay, that's good. And then you talked a little bit about extracurricular activities. Do you have a football team or?
We have volleyball, basketball,
Uh-huh.
track.
Okay.
Those are the only 3 sports we have right now.
That's
because
enough to get started.
it is, and we don't have so many, because the student body is rather small.
Yeah.
So we'd be pulling from the same students for all
Right.
these sports.
Right.
And they pretty much do play all 3 of them.
Right.
But as we grow, we'll hopefully to expand. We've left a space here for a football field.
Okay.
So that could
Well,
be
you
future
should.
plans.
Yeah. And then what about music? Any?
We have an excellent
Musicians.
arts program. We have one of our art teachers. She is a top artist in the area. Great art program. Many of our students have won awards. Our music program is probably known throughout the parish. We have a drum line,
Mhm.
and we're turning into a band this year. So we
Okay.
have a band that's coming forward. And we have all of those kind of extracurricular activities: dance, cheerleader, 4-H, Beta, Delta Academy,
Mhm.
Kappa League.
Okay.
We've got a lot of things that students can be involved in.
And then you'd mentioned with the different activities, no doubt you have the businesses that are in support of different maybe fundraisers that you guys are.
We are working definitely on that every day. We have been to SLP to talk to them about our interest and where we're going as a community. But one of the greatest factors that I think has had the most impact is our high schoolers earning that college degree and associate's degree with their high school diploma. We had asked that a study be done to see what the impact would be on our community, and it is nothing but positive. We're going to have more skilled laborers here, which that's what businesses want. That's why they've come to communities.
Right.
And so we want to be able to produce those students who will be able to be on those jobs.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. How large is your board of directors?
We have 7 members.
Okay.
7 members.
And you said any of them from Lafayette?
No, nobody's
No.
from Lafayette. Most of them are from this area, in this area. I think the furthest one may be Baker.
Not too bad. Do they visit the campus on a regular
They're very
basis?
active. As a matter of fact, one of our board members is the cheerleader sponsor.
Go ahead.
So they're very, very active in what happens from day to day, and getting involved with the students. We make sure the students know who they are, but they're not on campus every day. They don't get into the everyday involvement of what happens at school, but they're active with what we're doing.
Okay, I did see a mascot.
Yes, we're
Tell
the
us about
Bulldogs.
okay.
We're the Bulldogs, yes, the mighty Bulldogs.
And it's DAWGS, is that how?
DAWGS, right, the dogs.
The dogs. Oh,
Yes.
who came up with that? I mean,
The students came up with
students came up with
that.
that?
We had a mascot at one time, a real actual dog.
Uh-huh.
And then, of course, some kids don't like dogs and they're allergic, so we couldn't keep the
couldn't
dog
really
around.
keep it.
Right.
In the cage,
No, I don't think that would
No?
work. So,
Okay.
but we just took the image and we had a poster of the dog here, but the students came up with it. Yeah, he looked almost like that. It was an English bulldog. But the students changed it from DOGS, and they said, no, we gotta have a little more spirit to DAWGS.
Like they do, they change everything up.
Exactly.
It's never spelled the way it's supposed to be.
No,
That's
and
what
they
it's
call J.S.Clark. They don't call it J.S.Clark. They call it the Clark.
The Clark.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well, I'm sure
that's the
Mr.
name.
Clark would be happy to know that. Has his family come by to visit?
No,
campus?
we haven't reached out to the family at all. If there's any family members out there, we'd love to have you. We did have a classmate of Mr. Clark's come one time and talk about the history and how he knew Mr. Clark. And of course, there's alumni of J.S. Clark that come very often to talk about the history of the school. So I'd love to meet some of his family. That'd be a great
Yeah,
treat.
I just thought about that, not to put you on the spot or anything, but it's always food for thought.
Absolutely.
Maybe something to think about, later.
Mhm.
All right, is there anything else you'd like to share about the academy?
Um,
Awards, maybe that the students have won, competitions they've participated in?
Well, one thing that we have now just joined LHSAA.
What
And
is that?
that's Louisiana High School Athletic Association. And our students are really excited about that because now they get to compete on a level where they can win championships and participate in, those athletic things. So we're excited about that. But our students have been involved in all of the major competitions. We had Student of the Year this year, where they were able to participate in the state's Student of the Year, as well as Teacher of the Year. So we're small, growing. There's lots of opportunity here, and I think our students like that they can be the first to start something.
Yeah.
They can be the first to make, history, and so we're excited about having that senior class next year.
Wow. So I know you've got juniors, they're like a junior class president?
Yes, they
All right.
participate they have a class officers, not only in the high school category, but they also have officers that are on the college board as well. So they get dual interaction with that as well. So, and we have SGA here on the local, at the Gateway campus, student government, beta. And we've got a huge beta group. And the other thing I'm proud of is that one thing that we keep in mind with our students, we only have a few athletics, but our students have to have a 3.0 or better to play athletics here. And I
Why
know the
not?
standard is 2.0 or something like that. And our high school basketball, the starting team, all have 3.5.
That's
or better.
fantastic. That's awesome.
And we don't, when we teach our students to talk about what they're doing, they're not students, they're not athletes, they're student athletes. And that's how they're trained to introduce themselves.
Right. Okay. That's a
Because I'm
good
a
way.
student first.
Right. Right. And I like that you've elevated, that grade level, because it says to the students that your education is important.
That's right.
Because you can, possibly go out there and be a professional ball player or whatever, but then you can get hurt, and then you may not have
Absolutely.
your education to fall back on. So it's good to put that in the forefront. And if you
Absolutely.
happen to play sports well, then that's a wonderful
That's
thing
a
too.
blessing,
That's
right.
a blessing. That's a blessing. Anything else you'd want to share with the viewing audience?
I want to thank you for coming and sharing and being a part of J.S.Clark today. And thank you for taking an interest.
I
This is something
actually, yes, I'm so glad, you made that phone call to me. So this will appear in the October issue.
Correct.
And we will have the video made available on YouTube, and you can share that with the students, their families, and
Yes.
just whoever else. Help promote, J.S. Clark and the wonderful things that you're doing out here. So I'll let you give some closing comments, and then I'll go back and handle the camera. But I just want to let you know, this is an article and an interview for the Southern View magazine. You can find us on Facebook. You can also pull us up on the internet. And this is another fantastic interview, and thank you so much. Now,
Thank you.
while I set up the camera and focus it on you, go ahead and share with folks about, the plans that you have. If you want to walk and pick up some of the pictures,
Okay.
go ahead and do that, and I'll capture that.
Okay, awesome. So of course we're excited about our expansion because, as I said earlier, our waiting list is really long and we want to be able to accommodate more students in this environment. So our plans for the original school, of course, are we're adding space to the school classrooms, as well as
That's our water. That's okay. Don't worry about
as
it.
well as administrative offices and our gym. We plan to have one of the state-of-the-art gyms, and not just for basketball or events that happen here, but to service our community as well. And as you see here, we're also planning to expand to pre-K to 4th grade. Many of our parents, we did a survey and asked how many would be interested in this, and we had an overwhelming response. And so we feel like we need to add this piece component on after we've had a graduating class. Then we'll come back down to address the lower school, because we want to service the entire student. And not only just the student, we also have plans. If you see here, there's a parent room, and this parent room here is for those parents who are expecting. We want to educate the expecting parent on what it is they need to do to have a successful pregnancy. So we are following one of the models that I love, is Jeffrey Canada. He educated students from birth to college, and that's the model that we want to follow. And so that's why we've added this component. So we not only take your child from birth, before pre-birth, all the way through 4th grade, 8th grade, and then we send them off to college to get a high school diploma and a college degree at the same time. So we are definitely looking at the family. We're a family-oriented school, and we love our children. That's the most important thing I want to convey. We love our children, and that comes with discipline. It comes with giving students praise. But at the end of the day, every single day, I tell these students, I love you. Even if they don't hear from anybody else, they're here at J.S. Clark, because we are teaching students to be learners today so that they can be our leaders for tomorrow.
Great. And what's the address of the academy, Tiffany?
J.S. Clark Leadership Academy is located at 1517 Statesman Road. It will always be at 1517 Statesman Road here in Opelousas, Louisiana, small Opelousas, Louisiana. Our phone number is 337-948-3112 or 337-418-4222. Our website is a great place to go to find out any information on J.S. Clark. It's got a host of things, videos, photos. Some of you can even see our teachers teaching in the classroom. And that website address is www.jsclarkcharter.com. JSClarkCharter.com. And we're also on Facebook as well. So you can reach us on Facebook, message us on Facebook. We're always on. We put everything on Facebook as well. So thank you all, and I hope you apply. I hope you're interested. If you are, it doesn't matter where you live. We're a type 2 charter school, so we accept students from across the state. We have students from Lafayette all the way to Ville Platte.